We're live.
And we're VWP. As always, I'm Mox with my co-host AA and Rosali.
Hello, nurse.
Metal Matt, he will be here. This is getting kind of a regular thing. He'll be here shortly. Um, Bringing up the rear. I can't even make that joke. Our fourth co-host, or third, whatever, the fourth person on the podcast, Adam Rice.
Hello, everyone.
You didn't say hi to the nurse. AA at least was respectful enough to say hi to the nurse.
The nurse is giving me suppositories. What am I supposed to say hi about?
Sir, it's gonna be that kind of podcast.
Yep.
Okay, so wow. So um that's a tough act to follow.
Typically am.
Um as you can tell, I am so far I do not sound like a frog and Eric Young had a baby trying to talk. So far, I mean plans can change, but
Hmm.
so far my voice is holding up, so we're good. How was everybody's week?
My week so far has been okay. Work's a little hectic, but outside of that, pretty good.
And I know you have some things we're gonna discuss later that happened in this past week, but how was everything else?
Uh, Hectic. Been mainly dealing with my dad, but things are starting to fall into place.
Yeah, I didn't get permission to say this, but I'm gonna say it. For those that send thoughts and vibes and stuff, send those AA and AA's dad's way to all our friends that listen. Um, Send those their way. The more, the better. Um, what about those? Speaking of Rice, the Cavs, the lottery was sent.
Uh,
Where did the Cavs?
for those who didn't watch, the NBA draft lottery was tonight. My apologies. And as a Cavs fan, I was kind of hoping that we'd get the number one
Wait,
pick.
did you just cough out the suppository?
They were quick. They were quick. Um, as a
I
Cavs
don't think
fan,
that's how that's supposed to work.
they said fast acting.
I still don't think you're supposed to cough them up.
I'm a Pez dispenser. What can I say? Um,
Oh, sweet God, what? Yep.
as a Cavs fan, I was hoping we'd get the number one pick to obviously land Zion Williamson out of Duke. Didn't work in our favor. Um, Cavs ended up with the fifth pick, which kind of takes us out of the running for a couple, I would say, pretty premier talents.
Anybody good?
Well, we'll see what happens. But the New Orleans Pelicans have the number one pick, followed by the Memphis Grizzlies, the New York Knicks, and the Los Angeles LA Lakers.
I
Dallas
still,
Mavericks get nothing.
you can. I'm giving you the bird. I know you
I know.
can't see me, but I'm
I
giving you
know.
the bird.
Yep.
Um, I still think Anthony Davis should shave his eyebrows and re-enter the draft.
See if you can
Just
get a better team.
no, it'd still be the Pelicans. They'd still
Uh,
take them first.
yeah. But, we'll see what happens.
And
See how
did I just mix like a Russo wrestling swerve into the NBA draft? Like
Hey, it's
it's totally a completely different guy. Like the other one only had like one brow, like a
right.
unibrow.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't. They might like okay,
Hey,
they're twins. Just call him Tony Davis.
Right.
Let's go.
It's not worse than the parody Russo account who suggested that the WWE should run a
Oh,
storyline where Seth
yes.
treats on Becky with Lacey Evans. And for those who don't know understand what the hell we're talking about, we'll actually get into that later. But Mox, I
Uh,
know you
the
wanted to lead off
yeah.
stuff tonight.
The best
Uh,
part about the Vince Russo parody account is 99% of people don't know it's a parody account, and
mhm.
I'm like already in tears. Like we just started, and I can't because they think it's Vince saying this.
Well, there's not enough bros on the parody account.
Well, true, but it's the same people that think
Is
kayfabenews.com
real.
is, yeah.
Hmm.
It's the same people.
Which I will give
Uh,
kayfabe news props. They do good work.
they really do. They don't get enough credit. Uh, to be so satire and satirical in their work, and to be so obvious with it, and to still have quote unquote smarks like falling for it.
Perfect.
Yes, like I wish I worked for kayfabe news because I'd come up with some shit. Um, getting on to not so have me um, smiling, laughing, and tears news. Next week for VWP is going to be kind of is well at the moment is up in the air as far as Tuesday, Wednesday goes. My son goes in for surgery. His surgery will be Tuesday. We have to check in Monday, and Tuesdays and Wednesdays are when we do the podcast. I don't know um, how all that's going to work out. It's when you go into surgery, and we're talking. For those that don't know, he's already had 14 surgeries. My son has cerebral palsy, has had both legs broken and twisted and all kinds of stuff. But we go in again this Tuesday or Monday, and the surgery's Tuesday to hopefully, and I'm putting prayer hands like you guys can see me. His final surgery. It probably won't be because they're already telling us he'll have to have one more in his teenage years, 14, 15. But um, so I don't know where we're going to be at VWP next week. Um, you guys can always go without me. I know I'm the star of the show, or actually, he's the star of the show. So, um, if you guys, I'll try um, to make it to be on. But that's where my life's at. That's where my life's been the last week and a half or so, finding out the news. We knew this was coming, we just didn't know it was going to be so soon. We were thinking he's 10, we were thinking 11, 12. And he had a checkup, and they said, no, it's time, let's go ahead and do it now. And so here we are, we're doing it now, and um, I guess that's that for the news on. If you don't catch us next week for whatever reason, um, or if I'm not around and I get shit talked about, I will come back and give you tenfold. But if I'm not around next week, you that's where I'll be. And just like with AA and her dad, send positive thoughts, vibes, my son's way. He's gonna need it.
Yep, and we definitely are doing that. Um, unfortunately, we can't go from bad news, bad but potentially hopeful news to just um, bad news. As many of you might be aware, but I realize not everyone is 100% plugged into the professional wrestling world at all time. At all times, this past weekend, in London, England, there was a tragic incident involving a wrestler. Silver King, who's from Lucha Libre royalty, is Lucha Libre royalty in his own right. Um, Tragically passed away in the ring at the age of 51. Cause of death seems to be a heart attack. Uh, this obviously no one saw this coming,
No.
and this is roughly what has it been 10 years since this last happened?
It depends on. There's been other in-ring deaths since. I'm not gonna name names, but
Yeah, it just is. You don't. This is not something you prepare for. We know wrestling is dangerous, and something like this can always possibly happen. But this
yes,
certainly was out of left field. For those who don't know who Silver King is, he is a long-time luchador whose career has spanned EMLL, CMLL. He was in WCW for a little bit of time. Um,
during their cruiserweight height.
yeah, he was also in Lucha Underground. And for those who that
He
doesn't,
did some. He did some stints in New Japan.
and if
Or
that doesn't, if that doesn't ring a bell for anyone else, for those who have seen the movie Nacho Libre, he was the bad
yes,
guy,
yes,
Ramses. Um, his father was the legendary Dr. Wagner, um, legendary lucha in the 60s and before, one of the greatest luchadors ever. And his brother, obviously, is Dr. Wagner Jr., who's been around the world and um, recently came back into the light there a bit after his losing his mask, I believe, last year,
yeah.
and has kind of remade himself a little bit. Um, as far as the career, Silver King, he won. He was a CMLL World Champion, Tag Champion, Junior Heavyweight Champion. There is being in WCW means, for those of you who want to do a little bit of a dive on him, if you can, there is some stuff probably on the WWE network.
Yes.
Um,
And
I didn't get it.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
It's fine.
I want to say it's Dr. Wagner Jr.'s YouTube channel or something he shared from YouTube. They posted like 4 or 5 matches of his over the weekend. Um, really talented wrestler. Really.
Hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, he didn't get some of the limelight that his brothers had because they're both just as talented. Um,
And his
Dr.
father,
Wagner,
obviously.
well, obviously his father, but I guess that goes with being a junior and being named after like a true legend. Like
Hmm.
you have Dr. Wagner and then you have Dr. Wagner Jr. Silver King didn't get, in my opinion, some of the recognition he deserved. But to me, he's not just a lucha libre legend, but overall, he's a legend. Like he's
Um,
51, man. That's so young.
that's young. That's young, young. He finished, for those who care about these sort of things, in the PWI magazine. He was inside of the top 70 singles wrestlers in the PWI years. I believe back, it may have been just for 2003 or the PWI years. I forget which issue. Um, you, whenever this happens, it always hits you because you just don't expect it. So it's a sad situation. Our thoughts are with his family, to his brother,
Absolutely.
Dr. Wagner Jr., and the rest of his family. And I hope um, there's peace for him soon.
Yeah, rest easy, Silver
Mhm.
King. Rest easy.
And with that note, Metal Matt, how you doing?
Hello. So are we? Is 8 p.m. going to be like our new time now?
Well,
Eh,
what you got to figure with this week's episodes being taped, there really wasn't much to wait on.
The Iconics were on commentary tonight, sir, and they slayed it.
Okay, settle down there, Tiger.
we'll get to
I mean,
SmackDown later.
first they end an undefeated streak,
Oh God, here we go.
25-1. Then
Oh,
they go on commentary tonight and they absolutely kill it. Is there nothing that they can't do?
win a match.
They can't be. They can't.
They ended an undefeated streak. They won a match.
They
Really, I
don't have
didn't
the
They
see
won
that.
at
comedy of
WrestleMania. They
prawn
won
and
the tag
tater
team
salad
title.
white.
Oh God, don't even go there either, AA. Jesus.
Why? I'm going to
Oh
go see
God,
him on May 17th.
Oh, okay.
nice. Now I want them to be called Tater and Salad. Just for the shits and giggles. Now I want. I don't know which one I want which, but one of them has to be called Tater. The other one has to be called
Well,
Salad.
Peyton's clearly the tater.
Obviously, for
Yes, so, sir.
sir, you
Uh,
said it.
I
I
know.
disagreed.
All right. Okay, so here's the thing. For those who didn't watch Raw or SmackDown because they read spoilers, we get it. For those who watched Raw and SmackDown and didn't realize there were spoilers, there were. So pretty much everyone should already be kind of on the same playing field, one way or the other, with this episode. Um,
Well, I didn't get to watch Raw last night. I was working.
well, there were spoilers, sir. It.
Well, I read the spoilers, but
Well, there we go.
it's not the same as actually watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I
You
get it.
didn't miss
It's
much.
like it's like if you read that the Browns lost the game. You want to see how they lost the game, how they
No, the
failed
hell I
miserably. You know
don't.
what?
No, the hell I don't. You know how many weekends I spent at work looking at my phone, seeing my team just choke the living shit out of themselves?
Okay, first of all, we know that's a lie. You don't work weekends.
Back when I was at my old job.
Oh,
Uh huh.
oh,
Yeah.
Hooters, Hooters, Hooters.
Yeah, I was. I
Please get
worked with
that
Liv.
reference. You got it.
Yeah. I was almost going to say it too. Um, it. So here's we before we came on tonight. Mox, as usual, asked us kind of what we were going to talk about, and I basically said, well, we're probably going to end up yelling for 3 hours again.
AA's on board with that.
And before I guess we start the yelling, is there anything that you can remember from RMP this weekend, Alex?
Yes. Let's get the
Oh,
good stuff
yes.
out of the
I can
way.
remember some good stuff from RMP.
Was it
Besides the
liquor?
drinks. Damn, Adam and I on the same page. This is going to be a hoot.
No, I didn't drink.
So what happened this weekend, Alex? Before we get into WWE,
Well, let's see. Let's see. Let's start with the good stuff.
You Stalin motherfucker.
And you
Killer
got it.
Curtis
The good
Cole took
stuff.
on the Vulture, Dustin Urich, and
Oh, while you're wearing a Dustin Orrick shirt.
yes,
Oh.
and Dustin Urich lost to Curtis Cole.
Oh. For those that don't know and don't get why I'm doing my hoo Curtis Cole's her favorite. She wore Dustin's shirt to the show. Oh.
Yeah.
I bet you got a talking to after the show.
No, I didn't.
Well,
I
of
was with a
course.
friend, so we kind of left right after the show.
Wait a minute. We're not allowed to have friends.
I had a friend, and he went with me.
So Curtis Cole beat the Vulture.
Oh, yes. It was a neat little move how it happened, but it worked. Let's see. Filter walked out on Anaya because Filter and Anaya were in a tag team match.
That's been kind of brewing for a while.
Um, it was a match against Marlon and Atiba.
Atiba, Atiba. Atiba's still the youngest Rocky Mountain Pro champion.
Yes, he is.
Okay. Dude, and there's so much potential in that kid. So much
Oh, that kid
potential.
he's going somewhere. He is
Yeah,
going somewhere.
he's going places.
Yes, he
For
is.
those, just to spell it for those that want to check out on Twitch or YouTube, it's Atiba. Just type that in. Look at, and he's literally like I'm old. Not quite as old as other people. Um, but he's a kid. Like, and that dude is so good. He's like already pretty much got everything figured out. Just a couple little things here and there, to tweak. But yeah, he's going places. You'll be hearing that name for years to come. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Hey, cool it, Cassie. Cassie.
Do not eat the fur babies.
No, it's the cat.
Oh, you can eat the cat. Well, moving on.
Moving right along. But it was a
Alf.
good show. Bob enjoyed himself. He was my friend who went with me.
Nice.
And that's about all I can remember. My mind, folks, has been centered more on my dad, so I haven't really been. But they are moving my dad to a rehab facility tomorrow.
And I will, I guess, kind of speak for you. That's good news. That he's cleared to be out of the hospital.
Yep.
So
They're moving him to
everybody,
Greeley, Colorado. I only have to drive an hour now instead of 2.5 hours. And they'll eventually move him into Cheyenne when he gets a little bit stronger. They'll eventually move him to Cheyenne.
that's why we need your thoughts and good vibes, everyone.
Not only for my dad, but for Morris.
And I guess since I know we kind of all want to put off talking about WWE, Metal Metal Matt.
We need to rename this to the Stalling Wrestling Podcast because we stall a lot.
Yeah, we do. Metal Matt, did you happen to catch this past week's episode of Major League Wrestling?
I have it DVR'd, but I haven't gotten around to watching it yet.
Then we won't talk about it because I did, and I don't want to spoil it for you.
It was really good. It was really good.
But I guess we can talk
I
about
do
the
know
piece of
who's
news.
coming to MLW.
I was getting ready to go there.
Why?
Two major, I guess you can say, major signings done by Major League Wrestling in the course of the last week were made official on this past week's episode of MLW Fusion on BN Sports. And The first one we'll talk about briefly because that's all we really can do. Um, Marshall and Ross. Is that
Burrow?
um, the Von Erichs?
No, I
I
got that reference.
I forget the.
I didn't hear you. Adam won't
Oh,
shut up long enough for anybody to hear anybody else.
oh
After he said Ross, I said Burrow.
no, God,
Oh, Russ
really,
Perot. Sir,
really,
I'm from Texas, so of course I get that reference.
anybody. Let's see.
Keep going.
Under the,
You can do it, champ.
under the
You can do
age
it,
of
sport.
shut up. Under the age of what 28 maybe knows who will not know who Ross Perot is because I know who he is and I'm
Well,
29. We don't need to get into Ross Perot because really that would take too long. Um, but Marshall and I
I
believe
will say this much. We don't get political here.
right.
Ross Perot cost George H.W. a re-election, and I'll just leave it at that.
What
Maybe
about Ross Miller? Is that fine?
stop it,
What did he say? Um,
Ross
what'd
Geller.
you say?
Ross
Oh
Geller.
God. Well, we are friends.
Oh Lord. Oh God.
I'll be there for you.
Oh
I
no.
was about to say, please nobody sing the song, especially Matt. Like, please don't.
So as I'm trying to get to, Marshall and Ross Von Erich were signed by Major League Wrestling earlier this past week. And for those of you whose ears just perked up a little bit, yes, they are Von Erichs.
Yes.
These are Kevin Von Erich's two sons. They've been a tag team for a little while now. Uh, this is the first time I think you can. They've worked in Pro Wrestling Noah, which is probably the biggest company they worked for to date. They did do a quick pit stop in TNA, and now they've
They
decided.
travel just like their kinfolk. They
Mm,
they travel Texas a lot.
but this is, I guess you can say, their first major time they've ever really put down roots when it comes to wrestling,
Yeah.
outside of their time in Noah. Um,
Would you
And
say
being
that
a
this is a major league opportunity for them?
oh God, it hurts. Pain just went right down my left side. I swear. Oh, Matt, you gotta stop. You're killing me.
we'll see. Sasha
God, no,
start the match
no, no, we're not doing. Oh, sweet
against
Mary, Mother, and
Ruby.
Joseph. So
Sasha tried doing a kip.
I hate you. So it's not going to work. I swear to God, it's not. I'm going to plow right along here.
That's what he said.
I know, right?
They call me Mr. Plow. That name again is Mr. Plow.
Oh,
Oh, sweet mother of everything holy.
come for
Um,
the
Well,
wrestling,
calling that
stay for the
pride
pop culture references.
56. Call now and you get a free T-shirt.
AEW, is that you?
Ah, and which we also have to kind of mention. Marshall and Ross Von Erich have signed with Major League Wrestling, and they have been quickly added to be Filthy Tom Lawler's tag partners against Contra Unit at the Fury Road pay per view in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And don't get me wrong,
Actually, Adam, I believe it's pronounced Milwaukee.
No, it's not. Stop it, you insane person.
anytime you hear the name, at least for me, the Von Erichs, um,
Oh God, yeah.
You think of Lacey Von
it,
Erich?
it, it touches a sir, sir.
I have words on that. Can I just briefly mention, because you brought her up, I friended her on MySpace when that was still a thing.
And you sure you're only 29?
Bite me.
But for me specifically, like the Von Erichs are, I'll go and say like a sensitive subject.
To be sure, especially coming off this, a couple weeks ago, the Von Erich Vice documentary.
Yeah, which and I didn't want to correlate the two, but the Von Erich documentary airs. They get signed to MLW. I'm probably looking too much into it, but at the same time,
I don't think
uh,
you are. The boys have said the reason why they haven't maybe because we know if they had any interest and if there was mutual interest, WWE would have signed those boys when the Von Erichs went in the Hall of Fame.
yeah,
They
but
want to be near the ranch. The ranch is still there in Texas, correct?
it sure is.
So, although I know Kevin lives some portion of the year in Hawaii.
Yeah, he Kevin. Last I knew, um, Kevin's not around very much. He does show up,
Like it's still
but
their ranch, but the boys work it, so to speak.
yeah,
Okay.
basically, it's what you would think of like AA. You would know this, Wyoming, Colorado, a family ranch, and some people move on, but the owners are still the owners, and the younger generation runs the ranch,
Yeah, or they sell it off.
or that too.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, that's the Von Erich Ranch will, unless just somebody gets too greedy, or and I feel frog voice coming on, and I'm trying not to, unless somebody just gets too out of their head, which we're dealing with the Von Erichs here, so that's completely possible, sadly, and
yeah.
sells it like the Von Erich Ranch will always be the Von Erich Ranch.
So this is their first major
League.
opportunity with the stop it.
Major league promotion, perhaps.
Oh God. This is their first big opportunity settling in with a promotion. So let's see what they have. Marshall is the oldest at 30, and Ross is like 26. So they're still fairly young. They still could have a long career ahead of them. But we'll see if this is just what they want to do because of time scheduling and those kind of things.
Yeah.
But the second signing is a little more noteworthy. MLW has signed Austin Aries.
And did he have an impressive package on MLW?
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, I did not want to have to put the words impressive package and Austin Aries near each other, but they're here now and I don't have enough eye bleach.
To the Life Care
I,
Center of Greeley.
I don't have enough air bleach. Like, sir,
That was so
For,
wrong.
for
we're gonna have
rehab.
to tame him hardcore.
They're getting them out of
I
the
guess people
hospital.
forgot about Aries on commentary.
But what? Oh,
Yeah.
um, just to
Okay.
completely
So much.
try to fucking bleach my
Okay.
shit out of what Matt just said. What the hell is up with Impact having a Rich Swan versus? I can't talk. Rice, Matt,
Yes.
somebody, Rich Swan versus shit. Can't talk.
Rich Swan Impact or MLW?
Impact.
Who's he wrestling in Impact?
They're both abusers. Shit.
Oh, no. Don't tell me him and human piece of shit are having a match.
Yes. Michael Elgin.
Ah, you said his name.
Yeah, just for those that don't know that.
Just don't say his name 3 times.
Or else he appears and then I get to wait. Never mind. That actually might work.
if he appears and I know he's a little bigger than I am, I will give my damnedest to try to whoop his. I've got machetes. I live in
Sir, that's not whipping someone's ass. That's murder.
sir. I, I live in a defender.
So basically, before we go down this road where we could all be held potentially liable, um,
Oh, I can't stand. But
Austin,
yeah, I saw that advertisement. Like, are
Austin
you fucking
Aries
kidding?
to MLW. Mox, go ahead because I know you're already ready to go on that.
What sucks is Morse liked Austin Aries. He even has a card with from WWE trading cards where they cut like a piece of the fabric that was worn during a match, and the wrestler signs it and stuff. Like that was Morse's prized possession, and now even Morse is like, screw Austin Aries, my 10-year-old who I shield from a lot of the out stuff. Even he's like, I don't want that card. Just
Uh,
based on like the what he's done and what I've told him, that doesn't have to do with all the other stuff. Just like him being a prick and stuff. Just him
did you tell him about the promise?
and how you can tell at the time he was 8, 9. Yeah, and I still will vaguely or slightly mention it, like a promise ring, Morris, a
A
promise ring.
fucking promise,
Did
right?
he ever see that '70s show? It didn't exactly end very well.
Oh, oh, I just kind of want to curl up into a ball.
Yeah,
Wait, that's what I
I'm already
promised?
in fetal position. Like,
Metal Matt, Austin Aries to MLW. What are your initial thoughts?
It's tough to say. It really is, because on one hand, I think Austin Aries is a phenomenal performer. He's a great wrestler, a great mic worker. Maybe this is the one promotion because it does seem like MLW has been able to kind of straighten out Teddy Hart and Loki. Maybe MLW can work a miracle for the third time. So who knows?
are they kind of like the Bill Belichick of wrestling? And I mean that like not as a dig, but like, does
The,
anybody get that
I
reference?
get what you're saying, that they have a system.
Yeah.
I don't know of any such thing. Uh, like,
Well, you're a Browns fan, of course you wouldn't. All hell breaks loose in Cleveland.
he was our coach at one time. Of course I
No
know
shit,
about the system.
Sherlock.
I know about
Indeed,
But
the
he
system.
wasn't. He wasn't the hoodie at that time.
He was wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, but he
but it was
wasn't.
a
You
black
know
and
what the.
orange hoodie. I don't know if that really counts.
I hate you. Allie, do you have any thoughts on Austin Aries going to Major League Wrestling?
I don't care for Austin Aries. So where he ends up, I really don't care.
What if he
I'm.
ended up in RMP?
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, them fighting words.
I'll go and say this much. Mercury Yaden wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't think
Nope.
so either. The thing with Aries is the thing about Austin Aries is it's never a question about talent
Yeah,
because
like he's got it in the ring. Like
he's
Matt said,
good.
it's the bags that come with him.
He doesn't seem to be like the most mentally
There.
there. He just, for whatever reason, I mean, he's good on the mic. He's a great heel. He can get heat. The problem is some of the links you'll go to try to get heat often backfire to the point where people go, "Is this guy shooting or is he just a maniac?"
Right. Which, if you're running a promotion, you have to look at of in a promotion you're signing somebody, you're making an investment. Is this investment worth it? And we'll see with MLW, and if, but that dude's burned so many bridges, and
This is it. I mean, you've
well, I
got to
won't say
think
this is.
this is it.
There's always other promotions and indies and AEW, and but yeah, this is kind of, at least as a fan of wrestling, um, he's already like past his three strikes with me. So
Hmm.
MLW,
Yeah.
when he's gonna be on TV, like I'm gonna fast forward that shit just like I do with Michael, the piece of shit. Um, but as like other people might be still giving him another chance or whatever. But yeah, to a degree, you're right. That this is it, man. Like
I mean, I could see him maybe a place like in Japan taking a run at him after this. I
I
mean,
was gonna,
Austin Aries in something like the Best of the Super Juniors.
I could see that.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it either.
As long
Uh,
as they don't freaking push him like they did
mhm.
with piece of shit with
Yep.
fuck canoe.
Yep.
Like have him be a warm body and a name recognition, but don't actually push him like they did with fuck canoe.
Yep. And speaking of Best of Super Juniors, we might as well move right along to the unfortunate news that came out about Best of Super Juniors. And I'll let Mox and fill people in on that.
We talked about it last week.
That they were, no, the two recent people who are out.
Um, Desperado,
Yep.
is that? Yeah, we talked about that Wednesday.
We, did we talk about the? No, we talked about Best of Super Juniors. The news of them dropping out
Oh,
came out after.
oh, oh. I've talked about it just not on air. Um, Desperado, affectionately known as Despy, and shit. Help me out here.
No,
Desperado.
no,
What
that is
makes
not
you
called.
Son,
so holy?
um, Despy's injured with a shoulder, so he's out of Best of Super Juniors. And can't, my mind's so boggled, guys. AA and I are kind of in the same boat this week. Um, and the other one's Visa didn't clear in time. Shit. Can't think. Cannot think for the life of me. But
Hold on, I
anyway,
gotta go back here. Hold on.
two replacements, and fuck, I can't even think about their name right now. Um, I remember the second
Flip Gordon.
replacement, Flip Gordon. Yeah, Flip Gordon's visa didn't clear in time, so they were both out of the best of the Super Juniors. Um, they replaced Flip Gordon with Dioku, who a
No,
lot of people don't.
they replaced Dempsey with Doki.
Despy. Well, okay. Which a lot of people don't know. I've only seen like three of his matches. He's a lucha libre Mexican wrestler, really good from what I've seen. A lot of people have no idea who he is. Flip Gordon they replaced with help me
Red
out, brother.
Narita.
Yes, which he's a young lion, and I'm all for that. Was hoping it would be Amuno instead, Shoto Amuna, but eh,
Last minute, what can you do?
right. But night one started 2 nights ago, and so far, um, believe it or not, two of the people I don't like in two nights in a row. Show, night one, like they already stole the match. Show and Shango, night one, like the just end the tournament because that match was phenomenal. And then tonight or last night, night two, Yo and Tagamuchi. Holy shit! Did they? Okay, you assholes want to do that on night one? We're gonna do this on night two. Holy crap! Were those fantastic matches?
Yeah,
Um,
I've heard only good things, of course. But it's best Super Juniors. It's one of the things that NJPW absolutely seems to get right year after year.
yeah, and I brought that up when we did the preview last week,
Hmm.
when I was losing my voice and whatever. But and
Ribbit.
I don't like shut up, sir. And I'm not a fan of Show or Yo, but they by far have been in the best two matches so far, and we're tonight's going to be night three. But again, you go from Show and Shingo, just tearing the damn house down, to like just stop it now, just nobody else wrestle. We're done here. And then Yo and Tagamuchi come out and like, oh, we got you. Like,
We'll pull you
that
back.
that's why last week I couldn't, and still this week, like I cannot emphasize enough how awesome this tournament is. Um, like without fail, every year, best of the Super Juniors. Yeah, there's filler stuff in there, but the actual tournament matches, it's literally catch your breath stuff.
Yeah, I always look forward to it. So keep an eye. We'll be keeping an eye
Uh,
on that, and as it
I'll have
moves
a
forward.
better report either tomorrow or if I get the chance to be on next week. Do like a week's rundown instead of show by show stuff of
Hmm.
like who's who and who's leading Block A and Block B and stuff like that. But yeah, so far so good. Hasn't disappointed.
And now I guess it's time for us to get to the WWE. Well, actually,
Well, there's
before
this little
that,
promotion.
stop it. There's this little T-shirt company that tomorrow, uh, at sometime around 10 o'clock Eastern, it'll probably leak before then, even though it's pretty much been made official.
Yeah, it's
It
kind of
will,
already leaked.
but tomorrow is when the deal for AEW to Warner Brothers Media Group will be announced. And for those of you who are cocking your eye at that, that means AEW will be airing on one of the Turner Sports channels. Former,
You said cock.
shut up.
Sorry.
Uh, see, did you see what you did? Did you see what you did?
I woke Matt by accident.
Um,
You did that on purpose. We know.
yes, you did. Um, it will be announced tomorrow that AEW will be airing on TNT.
Yeah,
We know drama.
and oh god.
We do
Well,
not
before
know.
we dive into speculation, what about what actually happened with the WWE and the networks with their thing yesterday, and Fox confirming that SmackDown's still going to be 2 hours. Ronda
Yep,
Rousey, for whatever the fuck reason, was one of the people there.
I got words for Ronda,
Like,
dude. Oh, I got
And
words for Ronda.
she even said that UFC, that her first UFC fight or something like that was bigger than main event of WrestleMania.
Her UFC fight main event was bigger than the WrestleMania. Oh God, I'm
Good
gonna start yelling.
lord.
I'm going to start yelling. I have to bring it in, center
A
myself.
AA's been waiting. No, AA's been waiting for the yelling. She said before we went on air, she loves sometimes just sitting back and listening to us yell. So
She
Well,
can't.
I've been a bit under the weather the past couple of days, so I can't really yell all that much. But
Oh, I'll do it
obviously
enough
I
for all
can't.
of us. Froggy McFroggerson over here can't do it either. Uh,
You son of a bitch.
she doesn't even pretend to give a shit about the WWE. She
Not
doesn't.
not in the slightest.
She buries the WrestleMania main event twice now within about a 10-day period.
She
Doesn't
buried it
mention
which is
before it
even more
fucking happened.
baffling because the main event got nominated for an MTV award.
in Europe.
Doesn't matter, it's still an MTV award.
In Europe. Um,
In Europe, in Europe, that's a big continent, if I'm not mistaken.
it's all right.
Hey,
She.
we have friends that listen from Europe, so we'll.
I know. I'm just being an
No, I was
ass.
talking to Matt. Like you're at least trying to be politically correct. Matt's like just throwing an entire continent under the bus.
So am I, but it's fine.
Now,
Um,
I thought that Europe was a pretty big deal.
it's alright.
See, he's throwing it under the bus, not me.
Oh,
I've been twice,
uh,
so
uh,
I'm not.
time out real quick. AA, Morris just sent me a text that he's in the chat. If you want an open chat, see what he's listening while we're talking.
Morris.
Uh, she
I don't know
doesn't.
what the hell he's doing up at 9:45, but that's neither
Yeah,
here.
Morris, what are you doing, boy? Um,
Is AA
she's
with us?
I'm with you. I'm
okay.
getting ready to
Okay.
open it.
Okay.
She's
Well, you kept saying she. I didn't know if you were talking about AA or Rhonda.
Rhonda, because
Both could kick my ass. Well, AA could kick my ass. Rhonda, I'm not sure about.
she could. Don't even try to front. Um,
Sir, Glassjaw. Like
her,
I've
who,
watched Karate Kid,
who,
sir.
who, who? Hers or
I've watched
yours?
Karate. Not me, sir.
Um,
Not it.
she's no sold this main event twice. She's completely no sold Charlotte and Becky as being even individuals worth talking about. Um, this is Brock Lesnar to a degree if Brock didn't have wrestling experience before. Because at least Brock has
This is.
enough respect to care
This
while
makes me
he's
actually
there.
like Brock, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
Like
Because at
there's
least
two
I
ways
can.
you could have gone about it. And I know Brock started wrestling, then MMA, and came back. That's a little different. But even after he came back and then went back to UFC and came back, um, he's never done what Ronda's done, and what Ronda's done is
Basically say,
not.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, I did it, but
That,
whatever.
yeah, like it was. We all get the sense of Brock's there for a paycheck, and man, if you can get a paycheck, go get a paycheck. Like, good for you. But he's never um, done what she's doing as far as what I just can't with Ronda. Excuse me.
Rhonda is. I can't wait for when the shoot interviews start. From the people of this era when they start to talk about Ronda Rousey. Because
The
she.
year of hell.
They gave her everything. They gave her everything. And her reaction is, yeah, I did it. It was fine. I'm sorry. That's laughable and ridiculous. And if she even dares to come back, she better get booed. And I mean booed from the jump.
Like, it's to the point where as a business, and this is what is so perplexing about her being on the thing to begin with. like I don't want her back.
No,
I don't. It's one thing to kayfabe like I can beat your ass. It's another to literally just do what she's doing, which is no
it
bueno.
tells me Rhonda was actually hurt by her reactions there towards the end.
And Moore said, "Hi, Dad."
Hi, son.
Go to bed. It, I had to say it. I really don't want to spend too much time on Rhonda because honestly, I don't give a fuck. Sorry, Morris, plug your ears. Uh,
Yeah, you probably should have said that first.
too late. I don't care anymore. The
Yeah,
novelty's worn off. It's proven that she doesn't care about anything other than herself. So just let her go away. Let her go away, and I don't need to
have
see her
10
again.
kids, be Octomom, be on
Don't care.
TMZ, whatever. Start her own reality show. What the hell? Just get away
Go.
from wrestling.
But we were talking
Technically, to be
about
an
it.
Octomom, you have to have 8 kids.
She might. She
Speaking
needs
of
those kids
which,
to.
just random, completely random. We are really stalling to talk
I'm
about
trying to get there, and you
um,
people won't let me.
the Octomom. The her kids just turned 18 or something.
Oh
I
God, I
saw
feel old.
I saw an article. I didn't click on it. One of those little things when you're scrolling through an article of that years ago they were the oldest living Octo kids, but now they're apparently grown up, which makes sense. It's 2019. That was about 2001.
Mm-hmm. I hate my life.
Well, let's go Browns.
Hey, well, anything can happen. Um,
But getting back to AEW, where
AEW,
this all
yes, yes. Somehow we got to Ronda, but I know how.
well,
Um,
because they actually did theirs yesterday, which
right, yes. Um, we're going to find
Matt
out
Des
more
Moines
about.
loves this podcast.
They're going to find. We're going to find out tomorrow what the deal is with AEW to TNT. If I had to bet, AEW will air Wednesdays.
Yeah,
Uh,
word is Wednesdays. A lot of word is Thursdays.
there's no way it can be Thursdays because they do NBA Tuesdays and Thursdays. So unless every Thursday night they're doing a West Coast game, it won't work.
Well, this is part of the problem when you do
Hmm.
yeah, Wednesday's probably the most likely, but because
And we all know what that means. AEW Thunder coming soon to a network near you.
hey,
Oh,
Thunder used to be on Thursdays too.
yes, it did. I remember that. There was a brief period of time where SmackDown and Thunder were the same night, but it was brief because Thunder eventually went away. Um,
Thunder. Thunder.
Oh
don't,
God, Morris is
don't.
probably loving that because he loves that song.
Um, so we're going to go from AEW here because they really had much. We don't have much to talk about until tomorrow. We'll have coverage on that tomorrow, obviously,
Uh,
because it'll be
guesses
the
on
big story of the day.
before the story actually breaks. Um, for all four of us, guesses on networking day.
TNT Wednesdays.
Matt. Oh,
TNT. And I'm actually going to go with Thursdays, maybe.
AA.
TNT Thursdays.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about.
Got a,
Shut up, dude.
Jeez, got a little aggressive there.
He's angry. He's very, very angry. Um, And I meant to add, are we doing a 1 hour show or 2 hour show?
2 hours.
I think it'll be the traditional 2 hour show.
Hey,
About 2 hours.
Watch,
Although,
I'll
watch.
go.
They end up getting the action figure deal when they move to 3 hours.
Oh dear God, they don't have. They'd have the reverse WWE problem of they don't have enough people to do a three
no.
hour show.
And you know what? Now that you bring it up, I don't know what the full roster will look like here by the time they premiere. Will look like. Um, but they may not even have enough people for a 1 hour show.
Yeah, it's gonna be
2 hour show, I
tough
mean.
tough sledding.
So it may be just a 1 hour show, old school show. Um,
That's what
how it
it's
used to
worked.
be.
Yeah, it worked so well in the past. I
But
mean,
we'll see.
before you got your Monday Nitros,
Hmm. Hell,
like
Monday
it.
Nitro didn't start as 2 hours.
Well, but they're the first ones that went to three. One and then Raw followed suit years
Hmm.
later. But it was uh, that's a hell of a task for a t-shirt company to fill 2 hours of programming.
Yeah, it is. But we'll see what happens. And now we do actually have to move on to WWE.
Oh, it's
And
Why?
getting late. It's getting late for him. It's 11 o'clock his time. I see.
yep. But actually, before we get to the on-screen product, something off-screen happened with WWE. Couple things actually.
Matt's
Um,
heart broke,
yeah, Matt got his heart ripped out. Uh,
Why, Seth? Why?
we won't actually start with that.
and I'm the reverse. Why, Becky? Why would you take my man from me?
Wow. All right. Um, but we won't start with that piece of news. We'll actually start with something rare that happened today. Um,
Browns won a game.
it's summer. God. At least wait to make the joke till the season starts.
It's never too
Um,
early.
it's always too early, sir. Um,
That's what she said.
Moore says hello, Mr. Rice.
hi,
Uh
Morris.
Ignore
Um,
that last joke, Morris.
oh.
I hate you.
Mosky, while you're listening, while we're talking, any questions you come up with, just ask away. We'll do
Try.
our best to answer.
Um, today, Variety put out their cover story for their issue issue, and it was an interview, a rare interview with Vince McMahon in Stamford, Connecticut. And while it was very much a puff piece, it did kind of let us in on some of the things that were, that's going on within the company, and how the crux of the story was how the outside interests are finally starting to look at WWE as a viable vehicle for things such as advertising and uh, potential financial opportunities, product placement, those kind of things.
Like, oh,
Uh,
Game of Thrones accidentally having a Starbucks cup.
yeah, that kind of thing. It and it's not the most earth-shattering interview. It's not. I read it.
The big news is it's Vince McMahon doing an interview,
Yes,
basically.
that's basically the big news. And how basically Wall Street no longer looks at WWE as some sort of pariah.
The clown car that it is.
Right, we know it's a clown car. Wall Street doesn't yet. Or Madison Avenue. Uh, the company stocks, even though it recently had a dip, are at an all-time high. Um, the billion-dollar television deals. These are things that make Wall Street and advertisers interested in the company. It's why Vince has
Y-
made the WWE idiot-proof, basically.
and that
Uh,
doesn't go like just to the booking. Like it's you know what draws investors and you know what draws money? Money, and they're
hmm
making it. And yeah, you can counter that with, oh, they lost $8.5 million. They're hurt, so they're a sinking ship. The time to panic. You have no idea
You nope.
how the stock works, how
There has never
anything like
been right. There's never been any more greater outside interest or eyes on the company than there is right now. Ever.
ever. And people might dispute that with, well, the viewership's down. That's really unimportant in the conversation of what you and I and well, I guess all four of us are discussing. Like, well, viewership's sinking, viewership's at an all-time low. That's not the point.
For them. It may affect how we look at it
Yeah, right.
because we are viewers and we
That's
do
a
have a
different,
vested interest
yeah,
in the product. The vested
two
interest
different
from
topics.
yes, the vested interest from K Street and Madison Avenue and those people is can you help us make money?
That's all they care about. Can I make $1?
People bitch about the PG rating, and I get it. But that PG rating has directly correlated to advertisers going, we can sell our product on WWE television.
Yes.
And that
We
makes
can
the
have
WWE
WWE
money.
wrestlers do our commercials for us.
Yes.
Like even when it's
These
not during wrestlings, I see the Rusev and Lana Dollar General commercial. I see I've seen the Becky Lynch KFC commercial. Like even not during wrestling time, like just watching a show and WWE superstars.
remember,
Because go ahead.
sorry to cut you off. Becky would recently just signed a deal to be a spokesperson for shampoo,
Head and Shoulders.
Head and Shoulders. These are the things that happen when advertisers think they can approach your product.
Yes,
And while some wrestling fans may hate the directions that these changes have made on the company creatively, these things lead to these wrestlers getting more noticed more outside of the wrestling bubble, which means they could have potential earning. They have more earning potential down the road.
yes.
That's why
And
Roman Reigns did a guest spot on Nickelodeon television. That's why John
it's
Cena does what he does. Even though his career is winding down, it's because he has become palatable enough to advertisers that even though he was a wrestler, he's losing some of that and becoming an actor. But if you don't think they also don't look at him
well,
as a wrestler,
your definition of actor is might be
uh,
different than mine. But
hey,
I know what you mean.
he's getting a Fast and Furious movie. And
Who hasn't by now?
good point, but still, those are still major summertime blockbusters. It is what it is.
And and I know there's still a big debate on wages and the disparity between men and women
hmm
wages and you know a whole lot of things we can get into that not tonight, maybe another time. But also reason reportedly a few weeks ago, Becky got 7 figures.
That is the rumor. Should she and she may be the first ever $1 million female
Not named Rhonda.
not named Rhonda. So that's a big deal. But there's another little blurb in this interview that I wanted to quickly talk about. It was brought up because of the John Oliver piece that was done pre WrestleMania. about time off and the wrestler schedules. And Vince McMahon directly answered the question by saying that the wrestlers are free to take time off whenever they want. And it does not affect them and those kind of things. And
which
here's
is kind of
where I say bullshit.
yeah, it's a two-sided. If you
Good
take
for
time off, we've been watching long enough. We're all smarks, and I can't stand on the internet or what like fucking smarks this and sorry Morris, effing smarks
Morris is
that.
in bed.
Oh, good. Um, like if you're on the internet talking wrestling, you're a smart. Let's
right.
just smart's not a bad word.
Yeah.
Neither is Mark.
We are what we are.
We are, we are. Damn it, Matt.
The youth of a nation.
Damn it, Rice. But that being said, and now I
Yep.
lost my.
Wait, what did I do?
Nothing. We have been. You're good.
I preempted. I
Uh,
preempted you.
it's. We know they're allowed to take time off. It's just that will that
Oh, that's
place
where I was
be
going.
there
Yeah,
when they come back?
that push. That will they be depushed? Will they be
And catering.
relegated to? Yeah, that's the part of the business we don't know and don't hear of often. Of we hear rumors and yada yada, but we don't know that. And this isn't a WWE thing. This is an industry thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot of people don't get. Of yes, WWE is first and foremost, and WWE is what a lot of people consider wrestling. But
Mm-hmm.
it's an industry thing of hey, I want to take a month off or a couple weeks off. Well, if you're not at the live taping, how can we push you?
Right.
And are you going to be punished for wanting to take a couple of weeks off?
Yep. Matt, to come to you real quick. When you hear Vince McMahon directly say a wrestler is free to take off whatever they want without repercussion, what is your reaction to hearing him say that officially on paper?
I mean, I can kind of believe it. I'm sure that people can take time off. I'm sure there's going to be consequences for it, maybe in a bit of a subtle way, but I'm sure that they can take time off. But I don't think their spot is necessarily protected by taking time off, unless you are a top guy.
And I basically agree with you there. That's the crux. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much nailed it in all form. That I have no doubt they can take time off, but I also don't believe Vince is being altruistic when he says, "Yeah, it's no big deal."
Yeah, there's got to be something behind the scenes that
Yeah, and Allie, the same question to you, Vince. You hear Vince officially make this statement, and your reaction is,
The same as Metal Matt.
"All right." Um, so it's a decent interview. Go look at it if any of you are interested. You rarely get to hear the chairman speak because he
and
is.
usually when the chairman speaks, it's usually in Spanish, so it's
You
gonna have to
know
be
what I mean? Stop it. Whenever the chairman of the board, the CEO of the largest wrestling company in the world speaks, you tend to listen, especially when it's in
yeah.
an interview, because he doesn't do them.
Where's Bob Costas when you need him?
That yeah, never mind. So we will now actually get to what happened on Raw
Oh,
and
Morris is in bed.
SmackDown.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know where to begin. Oh yeah, I do.
Do it. Do it. Can I?
Do it.
Since we're apparently you're running out of time because you're lazy as I
Fuck
can't.
you.
Uh, sir, you're not my type. You're a Browns fan, but with help, Charlotte finally broke a table. Woohoo!
Yeah. Well, what help? Lacey basically just stood there.
Well, Lacey had the lady or whatever she's doing of mind control of table you're breaking. I
Yeah,
don't know, dude.
apparently.
I
It
don't know.
look, okay, look, here's where we're gonna start.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. We're gonna start with what I think we're gonna start with, aren't we?
Nikki and Alexa.
Son of a bitch, what the fuck are you doing, WWE? It's not us, it's you.
It's you. At this point we have to say it's not us, it's you, WWE. Because you don't use Nikki Cross at all. Really on your televised product. Then this week
Simmer,
Calm
simmer,
down. Calm down.
then this
compose,
week on main
compose.
event she has a match with this was this was her match with Pete or Billy. Who'd she wrestle on main event?
It was Peyton.
Okay. She wrestles Peyton and loses. Sorry, folks, spoiler. And then cuts a backstage promo on that is shown on social media, never shown on any other televised thing. It's just for social media, where Nikki basically contemplates that maybe she needs to change her a few things because being working in the dark and being in this in the shadows isn't working, hinting at a character change. Then out of the blue on Monday Night Raw, she comes in, sees Alexa struggling, and it's not crazy Nikki anymore.
Nope.
It's straight talking, clearly speaking full sentences, calm Nikki Cross, empathizing with Alexa, and
Nikki
and then
Cross
all
has
of
been under the WWE umbrella for what, 3 years now?
yep.
She's never once said a coherent sentence.
If it didn't involve the word he, play, little Nikki, those kind of things. She's always been this unhinged character. Then all of a sudden, she's not. And we see Alexa giving her this sort of sob story, beaten down, and Nikki says these, says, "Hey, if you need to talk, I'm here." And then Alexa gets the evil smile on her face and proceeds to kind of give another piece of sob story. And at the end of this backstage segment on Raw, Nikki Cross has replaced Alexa Bliss in the Fatal 4-Way match on Monday Night Raw.
Which I'm all for Nikki being on TV, but not like this.
But and let me be clear. Later on in the night when this happens, Nikki wins. Nikki wins the Fatal 4-Way. It is her first win on Monday Night Raw. She got the pin and the whole nine. Then Alexa, who is on commentary, comes down. Nikki and Alexa get a ladder, and Alexa Bliss climbs the ladder and takes down the Money in the Bank briefcase that has been suspended above the ring.
Nikki gets the letter.
Well, I think they both kind of. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, this
Nikki gets a ladder and Alexa climbs up, takes off the briefcase. It kind of stands there like, yeah, this is going to happen again. It,
basically you just made Nikki Cross James Ellsworth.
Alexa, there has not been a period of time on TV where Alexa has not had a lackey.
This
Whether it's Mickey
this is the
James, Nia Jax, and now Nikki Cross.
this is the worst of all.
Now,
This is like treason worthy.
to be fair, it appears they also might have planted the seeds that Nikki is working Alexa.
Yeah, but
But for now, Nikki Cross and she did a really good backstage interview after this. I would encourage people to watch it if you've ever had reservations about Nikki Cross speaking or her ability to play a character, because she is. If you haven't seen
if
Nikki
you've
Cross
had
and
reservations about Nikki Cross,
Get Out,
the door's that way.
right over there. Um, if you have not seen her indie run as the white chocolate cheesecake of professional wrestling,
Which was fantastic.
it's a fantastic little run. Um, she is capable of being a totally different character. Here she was, very sweet, and in this little um, backstage interview that happened after the the stuff with Alexa. Um, she's sweet, very kind of bubbly. Talks about wrestling in the UK and all those kind of things. But in it, she says, I've never really had a friend, so I'm really happy that I'm making a friend here. So it's very clearly we're going to go one of two
So
ways here.
wait a minute. So sanity literally never existed, like ever.
Did it? Show me proof where it did.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's, and which is funny because WWE also, I'm happy to make my first friend. Like 6 months ago, they were reporting on you getting married. So you've never had a friend. Whatever. Um,
Well, I hope my wife is listening. Sometimes you don't marry your friend. Sometimes you marry your enemy just to keep them close.
she's going to kill you. You know this, right?
I know.
Um, so
Worth it.
we're either going to go down two roads here, and I mentioned this earlier. Either we're going to go down a road where Nikki Cross is the useful idiot. Going to do Alexa's dirty work, put Alexa in a place to win the briefcase, and then when Nikki thinks it's time for Alexa to reciprocate, Alexa's going to screw her over, and we're going to go into Alexa versus Nikki Cross. Or we're going to go into the scenario where they're trying to play each other and don't realize it until later on down the road, and we're still going to get Alexa versus Nikki Cross. Either way, it's going to end up in the same area, but if you're going to ask me which one I prefer, it's option number two. But
Yeah.
but with that said, Matt, what do you make of this character direction now for Nikki Cross?
I don't like it. I don't like it. I hate it. I like that. I hate it. I can't stand it. Well, we'll have to see a lot more with it. We'll have to see a lot more with it. And I don't like you either. How about that?
Oh God, he's doing a Nikki Cross.
No, I was doing a Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon segment, but in all
Either
seriousness,
way,
I really don't like it. I don't get why they just suddenly gave up on sanity. I really don't.
Well, the reason being is they brought up sanity without Nikki Cross, like, and that was dead in the
that was,
water.
yeah, Nikki was the thing that made that group go, and when they separate them, it was the end of the road for sanity. Because I kind of agree. You're not going to push Eric Young. He's closer to 50 than 40. I just opened my mouth and I don't know if that's true. Um,
He's old, damn it.
yeah,
Hey,
Alex.
and I know before I don't want to say you've shunned WWE, but when you were still
Eric Young is
watching,
39.
Oh, he is, isn't he? So he's
yeah, that's why I wasn't gonna say anything, and I was trying to. I'm older than he is. Um, hey, before you
oh
took your hiatus from weekly viewing and stuff, I know you got to experience some of Nikki Cross and you liked her. Um, and just going off of Adam's synopsis of what happened and whatnot, like, what are your thoughts on them? Just
It's a waste of Nikki Cross. It's a big waste.
see what don't now. AA is not a casual fan by any means, but like I alluded to, like she's on hiatus from weekly viewing, and even she is like it's a waste, which is probably why she's on hiatus from watching from
yeah.
months ago of all the waste.
Look here, and I said it earlier too. They gave Alexa somebody who's more talented. Alexa's more talented. I mean, Nikki's more talented than Alexa. She just
Well, they
is.
did the same with Mickey. The only person she's been saddled with that wasn't more talented was Naya.
Yeah, that's true. Because at least Alexa can sell a little bit. Um, when she's asked to sell, which is almost never. Um,
So,
I Nikki, am I happy Nikki's on television and she got a win and is seemingly now in a storyline? Yes. Am I very upset?
but
But she should have already been standing on her own, making a name for herself on TV long before this.
yes, like this should have already not this storyline per se, but she this shouldn't be her establishment to the main roster.
They took a character that was interesting and fun and different and decided, no, well, she's going to kind of be sort of the same old, same old. Now, I fully recognize they could be doing a split personality thing too with Nikki, because
Right.
apparently she wrestled the same way she did as Crazy Nikki Cross on Monday that she has before. I'm just upset that they're pairing her with Alexa.
Yeah, that's and you guys know, hello, number one, how many years did I go by that moniker as
Number
when it
one,
comes to
Alexa Bliss
Alexa?
Mark.
Yeah. But this just doesn't. And I love Nikki Cross, obviously. So you would think like a fan of both of them, like, oh, like I'd be excited, and this does the opposite for me. It just makes me eye roll of no, please, not like this.
If Alexa cannot take sustained bumps, find a new role for her. Because I think this is what this comes down to. They're not ready for her to go out there and sell and bump and do the things she needs to do due to her concussion issues. And if she is in a fucking ladder match, that is a total dereliction of duty. Because she has no business to be in a ladder match. Now, if it's Nikki in the ladder match as Alexa's surrogate, again,
Yeah, it's a
We
surrogate.
have a problem.
Yeah, it's that's even worse in my opinion.
Because if Nikki's supposed to go out there and win a briefcase for somebody else,
Hence the James Ellsworth
right?
comparison.
It's laughable because you did nothing to set this up.
Now,
There's no story of a contract, a personal services contract. You've given no reason for Nikki to want to help Alexa outside of Nikki just wanting to be a good person, which makes her look dumb because she should know Alexa is a person you can't trust. Again, I say this knowing this could be Nikki playing Alexa as much as it is Alexa playing Nikki.
right. Um,
That still doesn't
I
make
it,
it look bad.
And I disagree. This is not laughable. This is the opposite of that. This is, are you fucking kidding me? Like I get what you're saying, and I agree to that, but the phrasing of, because this isn't laughable. Your women's division, especially on Raw, or on both divisions, like your entire women's division, your women's roster is so out of whack and so frustrating as it is. And yes, this is probably a lead up to Nikki being conniving and I'm your friend, he tricked you. But it's such a bad way of telling it when
Yeah.
you could have just done a bona fide out of the gate.
How would the division deal with this crazy lunatic running around and
Yeah,
her just
like because she is different. She's the most different out of the entire women's division. Yeah, there's only one Nikki Cross.
yep, yep,
You don't have that anywhere else in the division. Even Alicia Fox, kind of crazy. What? It's not Nikki fucking Cross, fucking nuts crazy.
mhm,
Uh, Alicia Fox is more of a delusional, for lack of.
mhm,
Nikki Cross is just nuts, like just crazy. Alicia Fox is the best comparison I can make off the top of my head of the more delusional, better than I think I am character, where Nikki is just even when like in NXT when she got her ass beat and lost and blood running down her mouth and she'd still laugh like she
yep.
likes it like that, and you don't. That's the character that will either brand. Like you don't have that character,
Yep.
and it's right there.
And you bring up the women's division, which kind of tangentially makes you want to move over to the other big happening, but not in the way you might think. Because Mox, you brought up a news outlet earlier. Mox or Matt, I forget which one of you. Um, and yesterday WWE did something, and well, it was Monday or yesterday. Well, yeah, Monday was yesterday. Shit, my days are
Monday,
full.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Um, WWE did something yesterday, and they kind of played into it on screen with the Universal Champion Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins going around backstage saying, "I broke the internet."
Oh God.
And if you don't know why he was saying that, well, that's why we're here to inform you.
Well, we already saw his penis a few years ago, and that
Oh,
Did you have to bring
was
that up?
did you?
it was too small to break the internet. So he must be talking about something
Oh,
different.
oh, it's sad because it's true. Um, Yesterday, well, it was actually over the weekend, but Seth Rollins basically made public
Spit it
the
out.
rumored relationship between he and Becky Lynch. And so Seth was bragging that he broke the internet because the wrestling internet did kind of break because it was the confirm we heard about it as a possibility, and they made it official. Becky and Seth are dating in real life. And normally,
Yay.
this isn't something we talk about.
Except, at least for on my end, except for WWE themselves tweeting about it like they're fucking TMZ.
And that's where I was going.
What the fuck is that about?
with two
Did
private
Ryan Satin like break into the WWE account for?
apparently. Uh, if these two wanted to make their relationship public, that's their business, first and foremost. Becky's notoriously kind of private, although she does kind of she's never shied away from letting people know when she is in a relationship.
And believe it or not, Seth is kind of private.
Seth is also kind of private. So this was them kind of trying to get ahead of it because people were already sort of figuring it out. I mean, they were caught at a concert together. You
This is
know,
basically shit we knew that just got confirmed.
right?
Eh,
They basically did everything but confirm it up until now. They're a couple. Matt's tears aside, um, good for them.
don't worry. Seth doesn't have a good track record with
Seth,
girlfriends, so
Seth has a
you still have a chance, Matt. You still have a chance.
Here's my problem, and I know you guys probably saw me tweet it last night.
Sir,
The-
nobody pays attention to your tweets.
okay, that's true. Um, the WWE deciding to go TMZ with it and not only report about it, but actually do have Kathy Kelly do a YouTube video report on it.
Oh, I didn't know that happened.
Yes, Kathy reported on it like she was on TMZ.
What?
It is different if they want to do it. But when the company itself decides they're going to make this announcement, I find it creepy and incredibly invasive of both their personal lives. Because now you invite your Twitter followers who to descend upon them with whatever they want to say. And we know how these people
Which is usually vitriol.
well, right, it's usually vitriolic and not good.
Look at
This
you
is
using 50-cent words.
I know.
He's a
And
It,
PIMP pimp.
I'm not Mrs. Black.
Did you know that that's actually how you pronounce the number 5 in Welsh?
Yes, I
pimp.
did. I like it.
Well, that's one new thing we learned about five today.
Oh, 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 that's getting brought up tomorrow. That's getting brought up tomorrow.
Yep. Matt, you knocked that one out of the park. Look, it's like I
Like
said,
Barry
I'm happy
Bonds up here.
just with less
Oh,
steroids.
I
Um,
was gonna do a steroids reference.
Like Mark McGuire up in here. Like Derek Jeter
Okay,
up in here. Like Mike
even worse.
Piazza.
Okay, you could have just left it at Jeter.
got there, decided to keep going. You didn't need to. Look, I'm happy for Becky and Seth, and I don't want to sound like I'm not happy for them personally.
Right,
I
like
love
that.
love. That's just something about me. I'm sappy. I'm a weirdo. I get it.
Well, we knew you were a weirdo. Sappy?
I can be sappy sometimes.
Oh yeah, crying every Sunday during the fall. Yeah,
That's being sappy. That's being heartbroken. Um,
same difference.
yeah, I guess. When the company goes out to this kind of limb, though, it makes them look bad.
Absolutely, like that. The WWE tweet, it, unnecessary, unneeded. Used the word creepy. Like what? Why? I don't. And
I'm one.
now with them doing it on TV with Seth in the backstage, I broke the internet up. Like now it's canon.
Yeah,
Like what the fuck?
they couldn't let these two people have a relationship without them having to put their 2 cents in. Think about that.
And I don't. I know like WWE is a big enough company where they have their everything's monetized. Their Twitter, their links, Like that, it might be a few dollars here and there, but money's money. But no,
Sonny.
you don't do that.
Now I'll turn it over to our esteemed colleagues here. Allie, when you hear that the WWE, setting with Seth and Becky's personal relationship side, when you see the company report on it like it's a news story, like you would see from TMZ or Extra Entertainment Tonight, but it's coming from the company's official social media, how does
Did
that
you
hit
just?
you?
It hits me all wrong. I think they should have just left it kind of like how it was with Dean and Renee. It just it was
Acknowledge it
just there.
later.
They didn't even really acknowledge it later. It just
Well,
You,
later they did, that they're married, but it wasn't when they were together. When they got married, it wasn't
they
through
did.
WWE
They didn't
Twitter.
tweet about it.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
a known, I
Thin.
guess, known secret, but it wasn't a secret. But WWE didn't try capitalizing on it, which just is sickening.
Matt, basically same question.
Um, I really don't think it's WWE's place to kind of announce it like TMZ or something like that. If Becky and Seth want to announce it, that's one thing, but don't report on it like TMZ.
They literally wrote an article about it. They literally had Kathy Kelly talk about it. That's invasive and weird. And I get it. We live in a TMZ culture. All of our media has become TMZ'd to where it's basically what we do. I know more about other people's personal relationships than I do about, you
Your own.
know, well, hell, that's
you're
because I
wrong.
have none. Um,
And I didn't mean that in a bad way.
but no, you're
I'm
right.
just saying, like next month I'll be married 14 years, and I know more about some other relationships than I do about my own. If that makes sense. Like
It does.
I brought this up yesterday in the daily. Everybody, society sucks. Let's get that out of the way. And everybody has to know everything about everything. And
Yeah.
but it's a step further when
Your
it's one thing
employer.
exactly, and you can go back and forth with they're not employees, fuck all
That's
that. That's not what we're talking about right
right.
now. We're talking about they work for WWE, and WWE put out a tweet about a confirmation, the newest, hottest, or the I forget
Yeah,
the
they. I
wording
think
of it.
they. I think they use the word hottest new couple. They
Yeah,
use
a
that
power couple.
terminology.
They
Power
power
couple.
couple.
Yes.
What the dude? That's
Gross.
not kosher.
It's gross. Because now from here on in, every other person in the back now has to think about their relationship with someone else in the
Yes,
locker room becoming public via WWE in some form or fashion.
and then you get the stupid shit of um pushes. The stupid fucking comments of Becky's getting this push because of Seth. Seth's getting this push because, and it's just a trigger for trolls that it.
It's
I don't
not.
know who's running the Twitter account, like if it's an intern or whatever, but that tweet should not have been tweeted whatsoever.
Because now I have to think about, okay, how do we want people to know? If I'm in the back,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a conversation I have to have.
right. Like
Like,
now, if you don't want it to be like this, and you're a couple in the back, Like, no, we've got to keep it really down low, and that's not right.
At least WWE gave Charlotte and Andrade the leeway to officially announce it at the Hall of Fame when they
Yes,
showed up as a couple.
yes.
We knew beforehand, but when they came out as a couple for the first time, it was on their terms. This was,
Charlotte
yes,
always gets the best booking, so
well, yeah. These two, yes, got to announce it on their terms, with maybe potentially roping in Beth and Edge in somehow, which is
yeah, that
odd.
was also weird. Like that was
Um, but to go from them doing what they did, and then for the company to take it a step further, that wasn't necessary. And if that happens again, then that's not good. That's not what these people signed up for.
and and I know let's see what time it is. Your time. Oh, you still have
11:38.
2 more hours to go with us. I'm just gonna put it in my shoes. Um, a few times I've had not just and I'm not trying to be callous or instance, not just like one-offs with coworkers or whatever, but relationships. One, actually, I don't talk about this a lot. It wasn't a real marriage. It doesn't matter. Um, but I had to acknowledge it to the company because supervisor and stuff like that. Anyway, um, but and yeah, there was gossip, and yes, we people that would ask, like we would confirm, like, yeah, we're together, we're seeing each other, we're dating. Um, I'm gonna leave the one out because that's AA knows most of the story on that one. Um, but that would be like my company sending a company wide email saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
did you know D
Yep.
Carter and
So and so.
um, so and so are in a relationship?" And not
And
only are we going to email it to the company wide, we're going to put it on the website too.
mm-hmm.
Of and that's just so
It's
out of taste.
it's odd.
It's this was before Twitter and all that
Mm,
existed, but yeah, it that would piss me off so bad if somebody.
yeah, it's so yeah. I just felt the need to comment on that, and I wanted to get to Seth and him kind of bringing it up on air, so we can also then talk about Becky and the contract signing. And
Well, I still have a couple more things to say about it.
go,
Okay,
go.
Matt, you have the floor.
Well, damn you, Seth. Damn you.
I learned a long time ago I ain't got a shot in hell, so why worry about it?
But in all seriousness, it is pretty cool that they're together. I am happy for them.
And hey, I hope this is the one for both of them.
Indeed.
I hope it's the one for both of them.
And one more thing before we move on. It is a good thing that Honky Tonk Man is no longer in WWE, because if he was, could you imagine what he would say about this? And
Stop.
Seth, if you want Becky's boy
Stop.
toy,
Stop.
you be
Stop
gone and you
now.
know it. Everybody knows.
Oh God, he did it. He did it.
He knew he
I haven't
would.
I haven't done a Honky Tonk Man impression in a while. I had to.
Well, technically, since he just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, he can show up.
It's not a Hall of Fame.
Why did you do that, Mox? Why?
Uh, because I don't put it past him anymore.
I know.
And I think Paul Orndorff said the best. I got a good dinner, good plane ride on the way over, good payday, $45 plaque night left in the hotel room. it's just it's not a Hall of Fame.
Oh, all
I
right.
mean, it's a good thing that Paula wasn't there at the Hall of Fame because hell
Oh,
would lose.
I'm just not even going to comment. Um,
But in all seriousness, good for Seth and Becky.
yeah.
Yeah. As far
The
as their relationship goes,
yeah.
like hope everything works out.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
As Becky called them on Twitter, they're the champ. I'm sorry.
no, that just needs to stop.
It does. Um, Basically, the contract signing between Becky and the double contract signing between Becky and Lacey and Charlotte basically ended how everyone thought it would. Becky got put through a table. Yeah, that's what
Are we
happened.
still talking about the Seth Becky? Oh, sorry,
Sir,
sorry, sorry,
sir.
sorry. Um,
And if he's
do
putting her through a table already, good for you, Seth. Good for you. Um, yes.
I dozed off for a second. Sorry,
Was your mind in a different place?
my mind's always in a different place.
That's also true. Typical contract signing, except this time instead of two people, it were three, and one person had two belts. Uh,
I'm not making the
it's
jokes. I'm
you
not making
could
the jokes. I'm
you
not making the
could
jokes.
you could. Um, bet they basically cut cookie cutter promos. We know what they all said. When Charlotte speaks, when Lacey speaks, when Becky speaks at this point, they don't have anything different to say. It's pretty much the same thing.
Oh
Was
yeah.
Plank used? Was Dope used? Was first Lady used? Was
Was Queen
Woo
used?
used?
You, yeah, they did. They played the greatest hits, y'all.
Set
And
closed.
then and then Becky got put through a table. Charlotte and Lacey posed with the titles. We're on to the Money in the Bank. Any comments on the contract signing? Any at all? Moving
Why do
right
we
along.
still have contract signings?
There we go. That's a good question. And the answer, I don't fucking know.
It's the
Let's.
most repetitive thing they do anymore. It, it's seldom do you get a peaceful contract signing, but
It's
anymore,
seldom that they do anything different.
yeah, we all knew where this was going when it started,
Uh-huh.
and like,
It went there. We also got Baron Corbin versus Ricochet, and it was actually a pretty decent match,
A Corbin match that was decent.
it had
mostly
Ricochet
for
in it.
Ricochet.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Baron Corbin went over clean.
yeah.
I'll say this for Baron.
What? What? What the hell? What the hell?
Oh no. I'll say this for Baron. He gets heat. He's easily hateable.
What is it?
I
Air
get it.
Con Heat?
I don't think so. I think it is go away
Because
heat.
the thing with Baron Corbin, he is a good character, not necessarily a good wrestler.
Well,
Yeah.
true, but WWE, that ladder doesn't matter. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
On Sunday, it's going to matter.
I was gonna make sure like LATTER,
Uh,
not because Sunday the
And this Sunday,
LADDER.
me and my son Shane are going to climb the ladder of success
I hope not.
and rid Stone
Oh,
Cold Steve Austin of CEO. I hate Stone Cold.
We
we found the problem with WWE programming, and he just happens to be a co-host of this podcast.
uh, um And let me also say this real quick because this is coming, so I want to prepare everybody for it.
Oh, sir, sir.
Not that, sir. Um, Baron Corbin's next in line for a Universal title push. He may not win it, but he's next in line because that's where this is going.
Well, he retired Kurt Angle.
Uh,
He's a
and then Kurt
two-time
immediately
Golden
got
Gloves winner.
who can't throw a great worked punch.
He's definitely not VWP's favorite son.
No, it, but he's going to get a main event push here. He's going to be wrestling for that Universal title. So buckle up, everybody. It's coming.
Seth, please do your damnedest to draw a good match out of him. Ricochet, set the template.
Just go figure it out. Um, trying to think what else happened. The women didn't only got that little segment with Nikki and them, the Fatal 4-Way match.
Nikki and them. I love it.
I don't mean to be mean, but
No, I know.
I only really resonate with Nikki. And yes, Alexa's pretty, but outside of that, I nothing else catches me. And Natty is what Natty is at this point, and I forget who else was in the match. Um, what else basically happened? Because I know we're going to have to get
A
to.
lot of shit.
Oh, good, so we don't have to cover it.
And surprisingly though,
It wasn't a bad Raw.
that thank you. Stealing my words. Thank you, sir.
You're
I
welcome.
barely every once in a while get a sentence out, but yes, that's it wasn't that bad of a raw. It's just yeah. It yeah.
It just, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it also, I can't even say there's anything to write home about. The Corbin Baron, I hate myself. The Baron,
Corbin is Baron. Oh, well, he's not a Becky Lynch future
stop,
boyfriend.
stop, sir. Um, the
Oh
Baron,
God, could you imagine Baron Corbin and Becky Lynch babies?
I don't want to. Why did you bring it up?
No, I
Trying to
cannot
avoid.
see that.
See,
Um,
I'm the hell of the foursome, so
we had Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin in the Baron Corbin. Braun Strowman. Fuck. We'll talk about the other good thing about Raw, but I want to get through this match.
yeah.
Uh,
Because I know the other good thing you want to talk about is Firefly Funhouse,
yes. Um,
the best thing on TV today.
yep.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, low
Like
bar, I
the
know,
whole
but
thing just feels like a really bad like Adult Swim show, like Tim and Eric. Like I'm half expecting Marilyn Manson in a goatee and a wig to say, "I am
Like,
the Dark Man, and I'm here to
like you
punish
wouldn't
you
pop for Marilyn Manson showing up.
because you have been unkind to the birds of the world."
I
I'd still
don't
pop
like
for
the
it.
drugs, but the drugs like me.
I don't know if
So,
anyone's going to get that reference.
so Baron and
Long story short, Marilyn
I
Manson gets
keep,
started on that third Tim and Eric.
I know, we got it. Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn. Basically, they go out. They make Braun look strong. Let's not get that. Braun looks strong out here for this match. But at the end, he gets jumped by Sami Zayn's new friends, Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre.
Why? Why?
So now that's a thing. And so now, because Sammy won, Sammy's in Money in the Bank, which is a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. Like I love the stipulation. Sammy wins, Sammy's in the Money in the Bank. But why
Because
are we?
because I think Sammy that makes Sammy almost a favorite to win the briefcase, in
and
my opinion.
and I could favor it or not, like Sammy with the new douchey heel Sammy with the briefcase. Like I'm here for it.
hmm Uh, but Braun looks strong in defeat. I don't know where Braun goes.
Yeah, we'll touch on that tomorrow about all the reported heat.
Yeah, there's a lot there apparently. So now let's get to Firefly Funhouse. Firefly motherfucker.
Firefly Funhouse.
Firefly Funhouse.
I'm
The,
fucking plastered and I can say Firefly Funhouse.
I'm an idiot. So there you go.
Well, go
Um,
Browns.
see, um, this was creepy, nightmare fuel, but it was so good.
Yes, it's been good since the inception of it. Like it's
No,
I
they,
mean, I'll say this: it's nice to know that Bray Wyatt is the new member of Slipknot.
yeah, that was a creepy fucking mask though. Jesus, that was creepy.
my
Now,
wife couldn't finish the YouTube video once the match. Like nope, nope. For those that don't know, I've said before, might be a little phobia with her and clowns, and nope,
now it
she
said
bailed.
Mox. I assume you watched this. It was since minutes you saw the
No,
YouTube video.
who?
You just said it, and I still ask the question. Um, they said Bray made revealed some sort of secret, and what was the secret that Bray revealed?
I'm your poppy, Dominic.
Not that one.
This fool like for real like fast forwarded Raw and SmackDown and
Dominic,
just smashed them all together.
Dominic, Ray is not your father. The truth of the matter is, I am.
That was still
That's
one of the
right.
creepiest.
I'm your poppy.
And they turned it into a T-shirt. But Max, what was what? Break it down for us. The
No,
Firefly Funhouse.
I'm not breaking. Uh,
Break it down. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Degenerate into something, fool.
Are you done?
No.
the Firefly, you have to like the other 3 hours. Like the Firefly Funhouse is worth the watch. Just to
Go watch it.
yeah,
Basically, what it
like
was just said.
but now that they put segments on YouTube, like you don't even have to watch the 3 hours. Just go find the Firefly Funhouse.
Yep.
God, I love that. I love it because it creeps. I love it just because if I was single and watching, like it's just I love every aspect of it. And added bonus of it creeps the hell out of my wife. So like cha-ching.
Yeah. So that's basically Raw in a nutshell. So we're gonna move over to SmackDown now, and here's where I start yelling again.
Yay.
Oh, are we
What,
gonna the Bakuki
sir?
Cuckoo for
I'm
Cocoa
trying
Puffs.
the Bakuki
The
um, uh,
Kabuki Warriors.
Bakuki experience. What?
Stop saying that word.
The Jimi Hendrix experience.
Not that word.
Are you experienced?
Sir!
The WWE experience.
Not, no. So, today, while they. By the way, I know we haven't mentioned it yet. We kind of mentioned there were spoilers earlier. But Raw and SmackDown this week were over in Europe because of the European tour. So that's where they were from.
No,
We
they're
didn't
not
come
doing
out.
the European tour in Columbus and Cleveland.
We
Shock.
we
My
didn't
shocked face.
we didn't expressly say it at the beginning of the show. I just wanted to make sure.
Well,
Ass.
you shouldn't have said it. That way, everybody thinks we're insiders. Like we knew what happened. Our,
Um.
Mox got the scoops and the sauces.
I do,
mm, So they're like the little tortilla cup chips.
sir. Why the?
Well, he's
Wait a
got a
minute. What?
point.
He's the
Wait a
hashtag
minute.
sauce boss.
Wait a minute. I, Adam, that's a conversation you and I will have a different
Yes.
time because I know you
Yes.
need to get some rest. You
Um.
pretend to work, so I know
Right.
you.
Right. Um. So this week, Raw and SmackDown were over in England, and
Let's not forget that quote unquote Becky sold out Dublin live
the
show all by
yes,
herself.
yeah,
She's
they
a
were there
draw.
for that.
Yes,
Hey, I know you're being
we've
kind of
all known.
sarcastic,
Yeah, I even put air quotes up.
Yeah, I mean, we've
but they
all known Becky is a draw. Everybody knows it.
Seth knows it for sure.
shit. But you can bet all those people absolutely were there to see Becky. So glad she got to have that experience. Um,
Finn Balor
The
who?
Viking experience.
Finn, stop it. So
WWE
Walt,
experience. Jimi
The
stop.
Hendrix
Bukaki
experience.
experience?
Would you
What are,
quit saying that word?
Experience.
No,
That word.
Max knows what he's saying. Um,
I'm sorry, I'm a Dan for Bukaki soup.
oh, I didn't need to know that. Shit. All right. Paige comes out on SmackDown this.
Oh shit! What a segue!
Well, no,
Oh shit!
I didn't think of that. Oh, I'm the worst. Craig's gonna kill me. Um, Paige comes out on SmackDown and basically announces that her team of Asuka and Kairi Sane have a new name. Their team name.
Bukaki. Bukaki.
It's not that. Stop saying it, or they will take us off.
Well,
They are
that's
now.
kind of the experience.
Oh, their names now are the Kabuki Warriors.
Oh, Kabuki. I get confused with the Japanese
No,
word.
you don't. You know what you were doing. Stop it. And when I first read that, I instantly just started like convulsing and laughing at the same time because earlier today, for those who didn't catch it, WWE reportedly fined Lars Sullivan $100,000 for his past racist, homophobic, and other disturbing comments made on messages boards some years ago. And he
Yeah, I
has been
made it
also.
a point not to talk about Lars.
I understand that, but this is why I'm bringing it up right now. I don't care about the Lars Sullivan story. I don't. But the same day you fine somebody $100,000 for making the statements that he made, the same day you have one of your tag teams named the Kabuki Experience, Kabuki Warriors. See, now you got me doing it.
Uh huh. You didn't know, sir. If you want to do it correctly.
I'm not going
Starts
to
with a
say
B.
that other word. No, I'm not. I'm not doing it. The Kabuki Warriors. How is that not tone deaf and racist?
It's not racist. It's tone deaf, but it's not racist.
It's to me,
Yeah.
and I go. We have different bars. Everyone has different entry points here. I understand that. Typically, when it comes to these kind of things, we're all sort of on the same page because we know it when we see it. But to me, that looks and feels racist.
I I see that. I I just
You're,
don't think. That's why I said it's definitely tone deaf. Not
it's
necessarily
let's say,
racist.
let me put it to you like this: it's
I swear
lazy
to
at
fuck if you
it's
go
lazy
ahead.
at best and racist at worst.
Oh, it's
It's as
definitely
tone deaf as
lazy.
Miley Cyrus is singing.
What was that, Matt?
It's tone deaf as Taylor Swift singing.
I
Yeah.
said it's as tone deaf as Miley Cyrus is singing.
Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus. They're all blondes. Is that racist?
No, that's just they they dye their hair too much. Who knows? Um,
I love my Hannah Montana.
stop it.
I
Um,
and I could see both sides were
to me,
I
it's just
definitely see tone deaf. Um, Racist, not so much as far as not sensitive or like it. But then you see comparisons on like what if they put two Mexicans together and named them Taco and Burrito? Like now you're making a leap. Like
no, but to me it would be like, you know what it would be is if you put two Hispanic people together and their tag team name be the Federales.
that's actually a pretty cool name.
It would play in some places and it would be killed in others.
What about the Usos and the Uso
Yeah, I mean,
Penitentiary?
all I have to say about this whole thing is that this whole name controversy has been quite the
Not
experience,
iconic.
if you will.
We're
Not
gonna make
iconic.
Very not iconic. Um,
The iconic Tony commentary, best part about the match. Like I do love like Billy's like total disdain for Saxton. Like I don't know, just the way that she
well, a
delivered
lot
that
of
line.
people have
It's
total
really
disdain for
funny.
Saxon, so you know. Look, here's where I stand on it, and I basically kind of made my point. I do not think this is okay. I don't think it's kosher. They could have done better.
It's dumb. It's dumb as fuck. I'll give you that much.
Pirates of Tomorrow was right there for them.
But then you take away from Sky Pirates.
They've already taken away from Sky Pirates by breaking the team up.
Well, I know, but the name in itself. AA, do you find that name racist or inflammatory or
Or do you just think it's dumb?
I find it stereotypical,
It's absolutely that.
well, yeah, it's definitely that.
and I
Um,
find it dumb.
it, to me, you could have come up with something better. Kabuki Warriors just screams they're Japanese, and this is all we could come up with. And if you're boiling them down to just a part of their culture for the sake of just coming up with a name, to me, you are what you are at that point.
Right, and that's what the first and foremost thing that I think we all four of us can agree on. If nothing else, it's lazy as fuck. It's lazy.
And but I'm going to take it a step further. That they may not think it's malicious, but to some people, it reads exactly that. And I am one of those people. I just don't
Oh,
think it's okay. I just don't. I think it's the same thing as when they had the Mexicals come out on lawnmowers.
uh, I don't see it quite being that far because that was
I mean, their
that
gimmicks were gardeners, and I get it, but that was so blatant. It probably is too far because that was blatant. It was blatant. Like we all remember Kerwin White.
why must you, sir? Why?
Um,
I'd rather have Matt cut a 15-minute promo than you bring that
that's
back up.
not an opening, Matt.
Wait, what'd you say?
Um, Matt,
Nothing,
he wouldn't be
nothing.
listening.
I didn't say
What'd you say?
nothing,
Nothing. Nothing.
What'd you
It's
say?
fine. It's
nothing.
okay.
What
Um,
did you say? I must know.
no, you don't.
You
Um,
must know.
What did you say? I need to know. I need to know. I need to know what you're gonna say. Let me say so. I need to know. I need to
so
know.
this happened anyway. All right. Um,
I, I, and don't get me wrong. And I've said this repeatedly. Um, some people know, some people don't, and some people I've even been laughed at because, especially since I don't get out much. Um, I'm not white. I'm not black. I'm not Asian. I'm not. I'm Native American.
he's a
I
fish.
you racist mother.
He's salmon American.
I don't know. To me, that sounds rather fishy.
I'm sorry for what I just said.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Hey, you're cool. I'm out.
Um,
So,
yeah.
because I went through a lot of my life having to check the box of Anglo or white, which wasn't me because there was a lot of times we didn't have the box to check like what I really was. And so I don't want to say I'm desensitized to racist things because when I see a racist thing, I know it's racist. Uh, to me, this is at best 50-50, but it's not like again to me just lazy like you could have.
To me, let me put it like this. To me, the racism is in the laziness.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah,
The racism is in them basically going, we have nothing, so let's just tie it to them being Japanese.
which leads to a point I haven't brought up here or in the forums. Why do you need a name? Period.
Especially for two people who you know are not going to be attacking forever.
Like what's the need to make sure we all know they're both Japanese? Like I don't. Am I making sense at all?
Right. We know they're Japanese. You don't need to make it even more clear. And also, let me kind of also give a little bit where I'm coming from on this. I'm as white as a new cloud. I'm
Doink the clown?
not clown, cloud.
Oh.
I am
Thunder,
so white, I'm
bringing the
transparent.
thunder.
Um, but I have step siblings. My stepbrother and stepsister are half Japanese, and so which means their children, my nieces and nephews, are partially Japanese. This hits home for me.
I know
You
it's not quite the same. I have a half brother's that. that's Vietnamese
Right.
from when Dad served the. Well, we've talked about that before.
hmm Um, so their presentation, I is lacking, and this is just another step in that direction where they go that this company can't look past what's in front of them,
Uh,
and that's a huge problem.
a serious question: does the fact that Paige is the forefront and the one that uh, the palest you can get English woman
Yeah. Yes.
giving them, does that have any connotation on giving these two Japanese women that name on screen? Like,
Let's have this pale white English woman from the country where white people are made make this announcement.
you see what I'm saying, right?
Uh
Obviously,
huh.
okay. Like
It
that
ain't
that
good.
that's a to me a deaf ear or tone deaf, whatever you want to call it. That was bad taste
Nothing.
or whatever you want to call it. I
I'll
but
end my portion of this right here because I want to go ahead and call it a night for myself. Um,
same here.
so you guys just want to wrap up and move on and do the
No,
rest of SmackDown?
finish your point.
Okay. Um, we'll figure out what we want to do here after this. Um, all of this feels like Mark said, best tone deaf and lazy, which it is. At worst, racist, which it kind of is. At the
We're talking about the same company that did Submission Sorority Sisters.
and then had to walk it back because they didn't do their research.
Exactly. So they don't get a
They,
pass.
no,
That's not what I'm saying. They just some you can tell when something just got thrown to the wall, like, and it stuck. Like, oh, we're gonna go with that, and without the connotations that might come
this company
afterwards.
is run by a man who didn't realize Asian porn was a thing.
Thank you, Gail Kilm.
Which, Gail, stop answering the WWE question. Just because they ask doesn't mean you have to answer. Stop. We get it. You're not going back while the old man is still alive. Stop answering the question. Because every time you answer it, you sound bitter and jaded. And I'm not saying you
Oh,
don't
oh,
have a reason,
I was about to say, like, she has reason to be, but like you said, just stop answering it.
but this company doesn't get a pass anytime when they do something like this. When you use race as a, a prop in the characterization rather than just letting them be the characters that you've given so far,
Yeah.
especially with these two. You've spent so much time establishing who they are that you've now thrown their. We know they're Japanese. You did need to bring eyes to it. When
And
New Day started out,
just off the
you
top of my
sp-
head, like you had the Empress Pirates or the Pirate Empresses or like anything that didn't involve, like, there's a lot of things if you would have just taken a little more time.
a little bit of time. That's all you, and you didn't do it. Um, just for the rest of SmackDown, like Matt said, the Iconics were on commentary. They didn't have a
they
match
were great.
again. Um,
Iconic, even if you will.
I'm sure it was great.
It really was. Like
Adam,
Billy was
I know you need to
very
go, so
on there. Just the way that she had such disdain for Saxton. Like she said something like, "You just need to sit down and shut up." I don't know, like just the way that she delivered that line. I just thought was really funny. Just that disdain in her voice. You know what I mean?
oh, like you and I have towards Adam like every day.
Oh, well, thanks. It's good to know. Do you guys
Um,
want to tackle the rest of SmackDown tomorrow, or do you want to give a quick recap now and leave tomorrow for the AEW stuff?
Well, I mean, I don't know if tomorrow is going to be a good time
oh, somebody's
Oh,
moving
because
up
I
in the
work tomorrow.
world. Can't make it on the Wednesday show. Hmm.
Well, I mean, I might be a bit late, but I'm going to be working tomorrow.
yeah, that's fine. We know that. Basically, everybody, the rest of SmackDown, really
The
nothing.
funny the not to cut you off. The funny part about Raw is even with it being pre-taped, like it rose. I think
It got better
110,000
viewers.
than last week.
And
Yeah.
there's one reason only. Becky is a draw.
Or is it because people were interested in finding out that Seth and Becky were fucking?
No,
Sir,
Becky's a draw.
sir, we sir.
Look, if the company's going to do that
Yeah,
bullshit,
Becky's a draw. She drew she drew Seth Rollins.
hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
let me know
Um,
where I'm wrong.
I know. Um, did Mox? I just kind of want to throw this out there. Outside of the this thing with the Kabuki Warriors now, um, anything else meaningful happen on SmackDown?
Uh, it's and I said this about Raw. It, go home shows are one thing. This was like
Go
same
home
thing
to the
with
go home.
yeah. This was go home, go home. Just go home.
Like they want to go home.
Yes, like please let's. And I don't get why they do. I get completely why they do the overseas tours. But to do the tours right before pay per view, uh, that logic doesn't resonate with me. Um, SmackDown was kind of just like Raw, very hit and miss. Like they were both good shows. Don't get me wrong, but I, damn,
Apparently, Randy Orton had a good night. Um, wait,
Seth, watch your back.
um is Money in the Bank this weekend?
Yes.
So it is the go home
Sunday.
show. Okay.
Yes, that's why I said
Um,
go home show. Like
Yes.
yeah.
let's just
And
They're
they're
ready to go
going
home.
home.
Yes.
And they're going home to the place where they belong.
Um,
oh Lord.
No one got that
Uh,
reference, I guess.
no,
we got the
we did,
reference.
we did. At least that, yeah,
Good.
we're good.
Um, we'll talk about some of the backstage stuff tomorrow with WWE because we learned some things over the course of the last few days that make us want to pull our hairs out.
Yeah, there's some things we brought up that we said we'd talk about another time. The large stuff and other things. We'll save that for.
Tomorrow,
Yeah. Well,
tomorrow.
we're gonna call it here,
Hallelujah.
everybody.
Tomorrow, you're only a day
Day
away.
away.
With that, we're gonna throw it to Miss Allie to take us home.
Kirstie Alley.
Why would you say that? She's right here, and you still said it.
That's okay. It doesn't bother me.
You suck, man. Uh,
So, where can they find you, Adam, before you head out on us?
at this late hour, you guys can always find me at PWFan01 on Twitter. and to Cage Side Seats in the daily and in the nightly. And I want to send a special thanks out to Crazy Chris Colgan and George Chavez for letting me on their podcast this past week. I had a wonderful time over at Two Guys One Sport. I encourage you all to go listen to that episode 105. I got to take part in one of their fantasy drafts, and I had a blast. And I hope to maybe go over there again
I don't
sometime.
mean
But
to
of
sound like
course,
a proud papa here or anything, but I finally got you to say 01 instead of 01. Um, um,
yeah, you corrected me. Yeah. So I
it
was,
took 2 years, but finally.
yeah. So again, thanks to them for allowing me on.
And where can they find you, Mox?
I'm Prince Moxley oh, at Fireman6809 on Twitter. Not so much daily, nightly anymore. Other people have kind of, yeah. But find me there on Twitter. Matt, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Melmat15 on Senior KSLC, hang out in the daily and the nightly. And hopefully, this Friday, I will be able to do another RA podcast episode on No Mercy 2004. I'm not making any promises, but
I was
hopefully
about to say,
Friday will
sir.
be the night that we will be able to do another episode.
Hey, where can they find you? And us
Well,
in general.
you can find me on the bird thing at Lady Rashana. You can find us on Twitch at Violent Wrestling Podcast, no G. And that's about it.
Love you guys. I'll, I guess we'll end on this note. Good vibes, good thoughts to AA, her dad, to Morris. We're going to need them this week, so any positive things um, are welcome. So until, I guess, tomorrow.
Till then.
Till then, everyone, good night, everybody.